Afternoon drive.
It was
is
afternoon drive. He was on WIBX at one point, and he would roam through the hallways and say, "What opinion do you think I should take on this? Abortion. What do you think, ladies? Where should I be on this today?" And he'd come out and he'd come out and say the most asinine thing.
I think I know where this is going.
And right. And everybody would call in, and he'd say, "I got a lot of calls today. Did you notice?" "Yeah, but you look like,
Where is Phil Stern now?
I believe he's reincarnated into Donald Trump. I think that's what has happened.
Phil Stern is running for president?
I believe he is. I think he is Donald Trump, because it's kind of the same philosophy where Trump says something crazy and then everybody talks about it.
Well, the one thing that you are doing today is you are talking about Donald Trump during a time when everybody's supposed to be focused on Hillary and the Democratic Convention. Another aspect of that, first let me say I think the remarks were inappropriate on the issue of Russia, and cybersecurity is a very important issue, and I think it really needs and deserves our attention, and also the type of actions that we need to take. If you recall, actually, from a state perspective, we held a committee hearing of the Senate. I actually coordinated and conducted this in Rome a couple of years ago, where we had 4 standing committees of the state Senate and 1 select committee, which is pretty unusual to hold a hearing on cybersecurity. We did it in Rome.
I remember that.
We talked about it from a variety of different perspectives, from homeland security, from financial security, from into public safety and fighting crime in the 21st century. So I think we have to be
It really has become the new. It's the new tactic. It's the new warfare.
Absolutely.
And believe it or not, you can accomplish so much. I mean, these people could shut down our banks. They could shut down
the power
grids, and
So absolutely. So that's why we thought it was that important, significant an issue that and obviously there are many things that you can't discuss because they're classified. But and where you can, in discussing this with various agencies and scientists, and I think it's an important issue, and actually an issue where we can benefit economically in our area, because you're seeing that right now. The Homeland Security Training Center is located in Oriskany. Some of the work that's being done at the Air Force Research Lab in Rome. So there are a lot of opportunities. We have private companies now that are doing work related to cybersecurity. Utica College is involved in some research and programming and a degree program.
Well, think about how much we now rely on technology. I mean, it's and this web-based technology. It's incredible, and we are able to do more in your homes. Like they have this stuff where you can, your garage door can go up, and all these things.
Is that why my garage door is going up?
I believe it is. I've actually hacked into your phone, and I'm just messing with your garage door.
But
up
that
and
is
down,
a concern, isn't it?
Well, what's interesting though is it's becoming consumer grade now, but the power grids, the government. There are your infrastructure in the city, the stoplights, so much has been for the last 5 or 6 years controlled through computer. Those computer billboards you see on they're all over the place. Those things are programmed from back at a head office. They can change that. So this stuff that we're seeing, turning on your lights in your house, that's been going on for quite some time in the government, and that's the scary part, because what if they hack into stuff like that?
Correct.
Yeah.
So to go back to your original question, because I don't want people to think that we're evading in any
Oh,
way.
I think you completely took me down a different road here. Totally.
But look, I'm bringing you back, isn't
yes,
that?
Yes, you are. That's a good point.
So two aspects to this. First and foremost, I didn't hear a lot of it. I've been traveling the district extensively over the last week. We were in Northern Oneida County. Last night I was in St. Lawrence County, and a couple days before that, Lewis County. So I'm not privy to a lot of the things that are happening, just getting recaps. And unfortunately, when you do that, you get the talking heads and you get everybody's perspective of what was said. So I heard the clip this morning.
You did hear what he said.
I heard your clip on the way in.
Let me play what he did say, as long as we're talking about it.
Am I going to be able to hear that, though?
Yeah, you'll be able to look what I'm going to do.
You're not going to share your phones
Come
with
right
me,
up near my headphones. Here we go. Listen, this is what Trump said.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000
that didn't play, did it? Are you getting that? How about this? Let's try this.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
So
is this a hearing test? Because I wasn't sure I got all that.
Russia, I hope
you're doing two things today. Here,
Russia, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails. Now, Greg writes in this morning, remember, those were the 30,000 emails that were deleted. We all know that.
Yeah.
That were personal, and don't the facts matter anymore? But the point is, these are things that talk show hosts say. These are things that I say, and I do it because it's titillating. And it gets people to call in and say, I can't believe you just said that. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I get into my car, I go home and have a cocktail, and I have nothing to do with world peace. Yeah. The problem is, aren't you uncomfortable with your president making these type of, I can only call them morning radio comments?
Well, I agree with Governor Pence and Speaker Ryan in this case. I think
they both came out and denounced it, basically.
I thought it was inappropriate, but I do not believe that he did this in a malicious way.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
Well, that's what's wrong with the TV talk show hosts right now on many of these. They're all going out there saying, he's inviting Russia to come and do something. It's akin to treason or espionage.
I don't think that. I mean, but if you listen, you hear everybody from the people who are saying, like we are, that it's just a titillating comment, all the way down to these people that claim it's treason. It's not treason. It's ridiculous. It's Donald Trump being Donald Trump. But I guess the point is, are we comfortable with our president making these comments?
Look, this has been an unusual and unconventional year, I guess, is the best way you could put this.
Like, you would never in a million years make that statement. I know you too well, Joe. You are very careful in your choice of words.
Well, I think you need to be, when you're considering that your words weigh very heavily, it's not that you should not be candid and express yourself, but when you assume certain positions, I learned that early on when I became the mayor, your words weigh more heavily and carry more than say somebody in a coffee shop like you're sitting right now at Daylight Donuts. And that doesn't mean that anyone is better than anybody else. It's just by nature of the position that you're holding or seeking.
Yeah, you got to be careful of the things that you say. Even the word titillating, I specifically use that word because
it's a good word.
It's titillating.
So what I would say again on this, though, number one, I would say I think the comments were inappropriate because this is a serious issue, and obviously I think we're trying to do our best to protect our country, to repudiate foreign espionage, to defend our country, and to, as you say, we're engaging in cyber warfare each and every day.
Yes.
Having been briefed in a number of cases by some of our various agencies, I know this to be the case. Secondly, though, I would think that people are obviously misconstruing intentionally, too, what he said. You may be right that he should choose more carefully how he says something and what he says, but then again, that would be contrary to his personality, and that's what people have embraced about him. You're an Apple fan, and from an Apple perspective, you remember the commercial that was done during the Super Bowl?
I do.
Everybody, it was the Orwellian.
The greatest commercial that ever ran once and had such effect on the world.
But think about this.
Yeah,
so the concept of that commercial was what? Everybody was robotic. Apple comes in and throws the sledgehammer, whatever that was. Do you remember what the device was?
Yes.
And breaks everything, right? Because it's going to be different and unconventional, untraditional.
Correct.
I think Trump is that hammer right now. He is.
You're comparing him to Apple? I compare him to the Where's the Beef Lady?
Now you sound like Walter Mondale. So it's like, but here's the deal. So in that case, that's what this year's all about. That's his persona. On the other hand, what is he accomplishing from a tactical standpoint, and whether this was the intended
I think he's in the tank for Hillary. I think he's. I do. I think
it's a pretty interesting strategy.
I think he wants out.
But think of what you're doing today. We're talking about him, not Hillary.
But you're talking badly about him.
And you're also bringing up the.
He gave
the 30,000 emails that
I understand
kind of went away, but all of a sudden now everybody's talking about email again.
But they're always talking about that. Anyway, he gave a gift to the Democrats last night. They got to scare people, and they got to use the treason and those words, and I think that becomes their talking point, and all it does is solidify their base, Joe.
I get that.
And it takes those people that are in the middle, that are the big, I don't know, I can't stand Hillary, I'm considering Donald Trump, and then when he makes comments like this, it makes those people say, it does concern you. Because you know the business.
Well, because if you're really serious about winning the election,
you want to bring those people in the middle. You want to bring them to you, not scare them away. And
the one thing I can't understand is a point that you brought up is that each time when things seem to be going well and he's rising in the polls, something is done that people would scratch their head and wonder why.
Why are we talking about this and not this great moment he had? That convention last week was really run very well. Yet there were these things that would pop up and all of a sudden become a distraction from what I think would have brought those people in the middle, who are the only ones that matter, because the Trump fans, like yourself, Joe, are going to be with Trump. Right? They're going to be there anyway.
The untraditional approaches, I think, is something that many people are welcoming right now, because they don't want business as usual. They want change. They want someone who will speak truthfully and honestly with them, attack traditional thinking. On the other hand, when you're conducting a campaign, you don't want to go in there and when you realize that some of the things that you're saying or doing could have a consequence to the potential of your electability,
right,
I would begin to question, and that concerns me.
Especially when we all know those that are with those Democrats are with Hillary no matter what. She's never had to say, I could go out and give secrets to the Russians. She's never said that like Trump has. But and Trump's people are going to be with him, period. But it's that group in the middle in order to win the presidency that he keeps kicking. I don't understand it.
And yet, in this case, when you talk about the reckless behavior from the former secretary.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So I guess this is, as we talked about initially, unconventional, unusual election. I don't know that anyone is enamored, including myself, with any of the choices, but yet I do believe we have to choose.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an interesting 3 months.
It is going to be. I mean,
you get great radio.
Crazy. It makes great radio.
Great
I think it does.
24-hour news,
yeah,
which is, I think, a contributing factor sometime to some of the problems we have.
I am sick of the 24-hour news, though. Aren't you, to the point where they get these panelists together and they sit there and it's just a bunch of muck. Yeah, and whatever network you go to, whether it's the cable news, it's just, please, they begin discussing, and maybe we're doing it right now.
You know what I use as an analogy, and it gives away the age, I think, to a certain degree. But my parents, I'm blessed, they're still with me.
Yeah.
And they're regular watchers of the news. But if you and growing up, when you heard breaking news or a bulletin,
it was
that meant it was huge. It was something big had happened.
It's a really
now you
good point,
see it every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes, there's breaking news, and you think it's. I mean, at least AP still. They have a breaking, when they do breaking news, you're getting some hard news or maybe something about Lindsay Lohan, but you're getting news. At least she'd be dead or something.
But people that have grown up with that, like my parents, when they see that, they're trying to adjust to that now, thinking, this is big because, and yet it's really not comparable to what we traditionally recall and remember to be a news bulletin.
Last night, breaking news. The president's going to speak on behalf of Hillary. Well, that's not breaking news.
Exactly. And
the president falls on the way onto the stage and he breaks his leg. That would be breaking news.
So I think that's pretty good.
Think about it.
That's very good.
Do
you think somebody asked him to break a leg before he gave the speech?
Yeah, break a leg.
But I tell you, the other benefactors of all of this, late night comedy.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And I have some of that I can play for you.
I can having a great time.
I can throw a little of that audio for you as well. Listen, we're live over at Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. It's Joe time. Coffee and conversation with Senator Joe Griffo. They've given me my script. It's right here. Presented with WIBX and the First News Keeler in the Morning radio program. We're live at Daylight Donuts. You have a question of the senator, whether it's about Trump or I know you'd rather be talking about state issues, that the issues that affect us right here, as opposed to this national stuff.
We're willing to talk about anything,
whatever
but let's focus on our state and community. That's the idea behind this has been a great opportunity for me to engage in an environment that I think is very comfortable to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just coming out and having coffee in the morning, and everybody has an idea or a perspective on an issue. So this is a great chance to engage and have that conversation. I also want to thank you and WIBX for taking your morning show on the road and being here to cover the activity.
It's not easy for us. We have to bring in extra mic stands and everything.
It looks good, though, from my perspective.
That's Bob. He sets all this stuff up. He's good. All right, we're going to break. We'll come right back. We're live at Daylight Donuts in New Hartford on WIBX.